Hello. Today I'm going to talk about Git and GitHub. So, and also we're going to have a project pushed into GitHub from Eclipse and see how it works. First of all, we're going to see what Git and GitHub are. So GitHub is a local repository, but GitHub is a remote repository. Git is a version control system used to track changes in computer files. It's a tool to manage your code and file history while coordinating work remotely on those files with others. So in a QA environment, everyone has his or her own workspace, and then they need to download and install Git local repository, and then on daily basis or whatever time they decide on, then they push the code to the GitHub. So GitHub is also called as a remote repository, but Git is a local repository. So Git is a window-based application. GitHub is a web-based application, and nowadays also they have their own desktop versions. So in the QA team, so there might be many people like QA developers on daily basis. They uh, have their own local Git repository, and then they push the code into GitHub, which is a remote repository. So now, as we see here, that here we have PC1, PC2, PC3. Here we commit or we send the code to the local repository here, and then from each local repository, everyone has. So the PC1 has his or her own local repository. PC2 has also the same, and PC3 has the same thing. So here, this is the person who's working or the PC. We have like the name one, and then they have their own local repository, which is called Git, and then they push the code to GitHub, which is a server service to use Git. So GitHub, remember, is a service to use Git, and then here we push the code to GitHub from our local Git repository. So this is a workstation, or we can also call it an Eclipse that we are using. So and then we commit the code to local repository, and then from local repository we push the code to GitHub, which is also called a remote repository. And so we have three PCs and three workstations or workspace, and then we also have three Git local repositories. So we need a local repository for every PC or every uh, workspace we are using. So here, these people, they have their own Git repository, also local repositories. So what are the advantages of GitHub? So it's a great way to keep track of code, a way to share and collaborate with others. As you are working in a team, then you can share and collaborate with everyone in the team. And so this is the best way of having collaboration with others in the team. And we have the ability to save our process and go back to the earlier point in our project. Anytime you need, so imagine that you are working here and then you push the code to the local repository. From local repository, you push the code to GitHub, which is a remote repository. Anytime you need the code, then you can just pull the code back to the local repository and then to your workspace. So that's why we have if that it says that we have the ability to save our process and go back to the earlier point at any time or whatever time we need. So and finally, GitHub makes it difficult to miss our project. So since we push the code so we commit the code daily in our local repository, and then we push it to the remote repository here. So it means we have the file anytime we need it, and then we have access to the file. So it's we can also say it's kind of backed up, and then anytime we need it, we can just have an access to it and a procedure that you're going through. So that's why messing up uh, the project is very difficult, and it's rarely happens. So there are some requirements on steps that we need to follow, and then to go and use to be able to use GitHub. So the first step is to create new account in GitHub. So it's also called, remember, GitHub is also called remote repository. So the first step that you need to do is just go to GitHub account. So just put GitHub, and then you have the option. If you already have an account, you need to sign in. If not, you need to sign up. So if I want to sign up, I already have an account, so I don't want to sign up. So here it gives you a page, create your account. You choose a username, email, and then password. After you put a password, then it asks you to verify by providing you some picture. So I don't want to go through this because I already have an account. So this is how you do it. And then after we create the account on GitHub, which is also called remote repository, remember this, guys. And then step two, we create a new repository in GitHub. So imagine that we create an account here, and then then we need to create a remote. We need to create uh, a new repository in GitHub and copy the URL. So now I already have an account here. So I go to my account here. This is my account. So there are two ways I can just use new repository and also click on new. And here I want to whatever project I want to push to remote repository, I'm gonna decide that. So imagine I'm gonna uh, use let's see what is good for us. I think I'm gonna use this one, and then I'm gonna copy this. After I copied that, I'm gonna come here and then paste it here. So I can also type it, so but I just want to have it the same name. Or let's just call it banking. So this is banking application. So I'm gonna also provide description here. But after I provide the description, this is not mandatory. Then there are options public and private. So when I choose public, so to whatever I provide the URL link, they can have access to my code. Usually companies go with private and they have the license because they care about the code and the sensitivity, and also they have I mean their own regulations, so they don't want their code to be spoiled. They don't want anyone to access the code. So we choose public, and then we create repository. So this is a step two. And then we create a repository here, and then we copy the URL. So, and then we come here, and then it provides us the URL here, and then I select this, come back here, and then I copy the URL here. So this is the URL that I was given. And step three, download and install Git repository. This is a local repository. Remember, GitHub is a remote repository. Git is a local repository. So, and now this is the link that I already have it. So I copy the link, I come here, and then I paste it. So download Git, then it gives us this page, whatever operation system we are using, and then we can decide. So let's see, I want to go with window, and then based on my window, it's of 64 or 32 or whatever. So, and then if I decide whatever I decide on, then I can download it. So I already have it here. So, and also we have three steps. The first step, as I told you, we create an account here, and here, then we copy the URL, and then we create the account, and we copy the URL. And after that, it's the same procedure that create a repository. Also, it shows the same thing. And then in this stage, so after we are here, and then I click on 64, and then I get the file here. See, I already got it, and I open this, and then it gives me the option to install Git for Windows. So I don't need it because I already have it, but I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So then after you do it, then it gives you these windows. Then the first step is just to select run. The next page, it gives you these options. Just click on next, number 2. And here for the next one, for level 3, just here select the destination location. Just select the destination which is already provided. Step 4, so remember just to check these three, the top three, and also these three as well. And then after you check them, just click next. The next step, which is step 5, here it gives, after it's finished with step 4, it gives you this option, and just click next. Step 6, we need to have the first one uh, selected, and also step 7, we need to have the first one, which is use git for git bash only selected. And then also for step 8, we need to use the step 1 selected as well, use open SSH. So step 9, we need the first one to be selected, use OpenSSH library. Step 10, we need to use the top one selected as well, check out Windows style command. And also the step 11, we need to have the first one selected. And the last step, or almost the last step, we need to have these two selected, not the last one. And step 13, which is the last step, we need to, if you want to launch it, so we can choose, this is optional, so we can just finish, and after you finish it, you will see this screen. And this will launch Git bash on your screen, which looks like a snapshot as we have it here. So this is the step, which is a long procedure, so but I got the screenshot and I provided here for you guys. So now what we did here, we have 3 steps. And then we created the GitHub repository that actually we didn't because I already had it. And then on step 2, we copied the URL. We created the repository in GitHub, which already made an account here. And then we copied the URL, which is here. We copied the URL, which was provided to us. Step 3, we download Git for our computer based on the system we are using. So here they also provided the link here, that we didn't also install this, and we didn't create an account, which we already have it. So, and also these are the steps for downloading the files. Now let's go to, I created this for you guys, which is very good, I think. And let's see what is Git and GitHub. So in a company, everyone has their own workspace. This workspace is called also this Eclipse. So I'm using Eclipse. This is called my workspace. I'm using IntelliJ. That's called my workspace. So in the workspace, then after we work on files, we like delete files, we add some files, we did some modifications, we modify files. Then we need to add those files to a staging area. What is a staging area? A staging area, so this is the Git, first of all. This is the Git we just installed. This is a local repository we need to install it on computer and have it. But between the Git, which is a local repository, we just installed it here, for example, then we need to have a staging area. What is a staging area? Whatever code we need to send to Git, which is local repository. First of all, we need to send those files in a staging area, and from a staging area, then to Git, which is a local repository, and after that, we push it to the GitHub, which is our remote repository. So here there are 4 people in a company in QA environment. So these people, everyone has his or her own workspace, like their own Eclipse or IntelliJ they are working on. And then when they want to push the code, and then they have to download Git and install Git on their local machine. So this workspace and tail this Git, they are called local area. So then after they install Git, and then they need, when they want to use the Git and push the code or send the code to their local Git or local repository. So there are some steps to do or to consider here. First of all, there is a staging area between these two. So the staging area is between the workspace, which is Eclipse or IntelliJ, and Git repository, which we just downloaded. And then So there are some commands here that we're going to use here, but the first thing that you need to know that everyone has their own workspace, and then they need to download Git repository, which is local repository. And after they download it, if they want to send the code to their Git, which is a local repository, there is a between these two there is a look thing which is called staging area. So this is staging area. First, we need to add the code here, and then after adding the code here, then we need to commit the code or send the code to Git, and from Git, then we send the code to GitHub, which is called pushing. So if you have 10 people or 12 people or 100 people, then everyone has their own workspace, and they need to install Git, which is a local repository, and then when they want to send the code from their workspace to Git, they need to send it to staging area first. From a staging area, then they need to send it to a Git, and from Git, which is a local repository, again, then we send it to GitHub, which is called pushing, or we push the code to GitHub. GitHub is called remote repository. This is a local repository, but we have the staging area between Git and uh, workspace that we are using. So this is the what we need to do first. Okay, so there are some commands. So I created this for you guys just to have it very clear. So first of all, in the workspace, whenever we want to send something to a staging area, then we use a command status. So what is this command used for? We just check. So here in workspace, everybody before sending anything to Git and from to the staging area and Git. So first of all, we use this command status just to see what we have. If we if we have any new thing in our workspace, like if we deleted something, if we modified something, if we added a new file or a new package or class or whatever. First of all, we use a command called status to see whatever new item we have to add it to Git, local Git. So and after that, how if we see that we have something new, then we uh, then need to add it to a staging area. How do we add it to a staging area? Here we need to use a command called add space dash a. So by using this command, we send it to staging area. And after that, from a staging area, we use a command called commit to Git, which is a local repository. And after that, we push the code to GitHub. So there are four commands that are very important. First of all, we start with the status. So let's see what we have to. Do we have anything to send it to the Git repository? Okay, then we use status. Yes, if yes, then we use a command called add a and send it to a staging area. After we send it to a staging area, then we use a command commit, then send it to Git repository, our local repository. So again, local repository, everyone in a QA team has to have their own local repository. This local repository it belongs to this person. This local repository belongs to this person. So each individual has his own local repository from their own workspace. So again, workspace it can be Eclipse or IntelliJ or whatever. So after we send the code to Git, then by using commit command, then we push the code to GitHub. So this now it's our remote repository. So this is the step. This is a one-way step. So whatever, if we need the code back, if imagine if I push my code from Git to GitHub, if someone else just pushed a new code or bring some changes to the code, then I need to update. So then this is updated, but I don't have the code here in Git, my local Git. Someone updated the code in GitHub repository. So imagine this person, I pushed the code yesterday, and then someone just pushed another code, like modified something, deleted something. Then I need to have the updated file, but the updated code or file is in GitHub. I needed to into my Git. So then I use the pull command. When I use pull command, so then I can have whatever I have, whatever is inside the GitHub in my Git. So then when I use pull, then I can have the code back or the updated code back in my Git local repository from remote repository. Okay, this is the first step. So now let's start and go to the next step, which is let's see what commands do we use. So we have four commands that we only use them once. We only use them once. So here, the first one is get int, and the other one is get remote and add origin. So as I stated here, we only use these commands once to create new local repositories. So, and this command, which is get remote add origin, then we provide our GitHub repository. Remember, we come here and then we created a new repository, and then we were given a URL, which I saved it here, if you remember. So then we provide this code, this URL there. So then let's copy this first. I'll just have it. So now we have two commands that we only need to use those commands once, only once, whenever we want to push a code from local repository to remote repository. So this is the first command is get init. This command is used to start a new repository. So by using this command, we create a new local repository. Remember, guys, new local repository. By using this command, get remote at origin, we connect our new local repository to our new remote repository, which is this. And by using this URL, again, we create a new local repository by this command, and by using this command, get remote at origin, we associate these two together. So our local repository and our remote repository. So, and we only use them once. We only use these commands once to create a repository. This command connects our local repository to our to the remote repository, so that we got the URL from. Okay, now let's go to our Eclipse. So here, I want to get the location for my project. So I copy the location. Then I go to my file here, and then I copy it. So this is my location. So then I right click here. So after I right click, when you have the Git installed on your computer, it gives you two options: Git GUI and Git Bash. So I click on the second one. So this is the page it provides to you. Here, we are going to use the command and start pushing a file from our local repository from workspace to staging area, and then Git, then push it to GitHub. So that's what happens here. First of all, what do we need to do? Before doing any of these steps, remember, before doing like using the status command or any of these, then we have two commands to use. First of all, first time command. This two commands. So what is the first one? We only use them once again. So this is the first get init. So I use it. So get init. So what is this? If I click on it, so I now created a local repository. Remember, now I created a local repository. So this is finished. And now I'm going to use the second command. So get remote add origin. And here I'm going to provide. So here, if you remember, we created another remote repository here. Okay. And then I'm going to copy it. I already actually copied it here, but just copy it here. So because we created a repository in GitHub, okay? And now we created a local repository by using this command. So get int init always creates a local repository. Now I want to connect my local repository to my remote repository by using the second command here, get remote add origin, and providing my remote repository. Okay, now here I just copy whatever I got here in the quotation mark. So get remote add origin URL, the URL of my remote repository, which I got from GitHub. After I press enter, then what do I need to do? Okay, then I come back to my site. So this is the procedure I want to do, guys. So first of all, I want to see, do I have anything new that I need to send it to my local repositories? This is my Eclipse. This is my Eclipse workspace. This guy, this guy, this guy, doesn't matter who's working. First of all, I want to use the command status. So, and here I also have the command status just to show you guys. So I use the command get status, and this command let me know, okay, what do I have new just to send. If I don't have anything new, if I didn't change anything, if I didn't delete anything, if I didn't create a class or project or any file, so there's no need to push file because there's nothing new. Then I say get status. After I click enter, it gives me some file in red. What are these files? So these files, it says nothing added to commit, but unchecked file. What is unchecked file? Any file that I have in my workspace that I still have not sent it to a staging area are called untracked files. Any file that I have it in my workspace, but I have not sent it to staging area yet, they are called untracked files. These files, they are shown in red that these are also changes. It means that these files are new in your workspace and they have not been added to a staging area or local repository yet. So, and they are called untracked files. After I got them, so as I told you guys, I use the command status. So now, if I don't have anything here, it means I do not need to push any code because I don't have anything new to push to my local repository. So now, to add them in my staging area, I use a command called get add space -a. So I want to, okay, do I have something new? Yes, I just use the status command. You have 4 files or 5 files, 5 new files that you need to send them to your staging area, and they are untracked files. It means you only have them in your workspace, in your Eclipse, but you still have not sent them to your staging area. So to send them them to my staging area, what I need to do, then I need to use another command, get add space -a, which I already have it here. Get add space -a. So, and then I write the command here, and then I click enter. So what happened now? I send the, so I checked first, did I have something new? Yes, I had these files. Then I add them to my staging area. Now I have this file in my staging area, which is here. So what else do I need to do now? So I'm here. Imagine I'm here. But so I just add them to a staging area. Another thing we need to remember. So before and after this, I need to use commit here. So I send them to my staging area, and I need to commit the files to get the local repository. But always remember, before commit, for the first time that you are pushing your code, first time, you need to use another commands. So now I have my files here in the staging area. I need to use the command commit and send them to my local repository, which is get. But I don't need to do it. I need to use these two commands, get config global username. So I provide the name for my whatever for my code, and then I need to provide my email address. So remember, we must always execute these two commands before executing the first commit command. So remember, before executing commit from the staging area that to send the file to get, we need to use these two commands. So I already have them here. So the first one, just to save time, I'll copy the first one here. So and then I'll paste it here. What is this? Get config space -- global username, and then you put whatever you want. So I can say, so I just put the name here. So again, git config, and then you put whatever name you want. This command sets the author name and the email address repository to be used with your commits. So before using commit, this is commit. We never use commit after A for the first time, only for the first time. Then we have to use these two commands, and after that we go for commit. So here we need to use commit, but before commit we need to use these two. Okay, then I enter. After I did that, and instead of typing, then I have it ready. I copy this. Then I paste it here. This time, user email, and then I provided the email that I log into my GitHub account with. So then I hit enter. After I hit enter, where are we now? So still we are in the staging area. So we still did not commit the code to Git. But before using commit for the first time, we always need to use these two. So we provide the name and then we provide the email address. That's fine. So now we need to use commit, and also commit is here. So how do we need to use commit? So let's just go here. If we get commit space -n, and after that we need to use provide a message. If we don't provide a message, it's not gonna work. So let's see. Get space -m. I would say my first repository. This message is mandatory, guys. Remember, if you don't provide it, it's not gonna work. So again, get yeah. So let me delete it. Get commit n, and this is my message. So get commit name, and this is the message that you have to provide. Okay, after I click on here, then what happens here? Then I'm still in my staging area. Remember, after I execute the command commit, then my code will be sent to my Git local repository. My Git local repository. Let's just do it. Now this code is sent to my local repository. Remember, this was my code. Now, if I use a status now, I can use a status just to see this. So you can use this status also here just to see what's up here. So if I use a status, so now it says that, let's see, not found here anyway. So now I send my code to my Git. So I'm still in this area, in this step. Okay, I'm still in this step. So let's see what happens now. After I did it, then I would need to push the code inside GitHub. So how can I do it? I would use it git push, and this is my command. And also I can use and push the code. So from git, we need to push the code. So now we come here and then we use the git push u version master. So by executing this code, now our code from Git will be sent or pushed into GitHub, which is a remote repository. Now our code is inside Git, which is our local repository. And now by executing this code, which is git push space that u origin master, will be pushed to GitHub, which is remote repository. Now it gives us the option that Git was pushed and everything set to track, and everything is fine. So, but when you do this, you must normally you get the username. You have to provide your username and your password, because my account, all my password are saved in my window. It doesn't give me the option. But remember, whenever you use push command, use git push dot u origin master command. Then it asks you to provide the username. and then after that it asks you to provide the password. After you provide it, then everything will be pushed into GitHub repository, because if all my passwords are saved on my browsers here, it doesn't give me the option. Now what happened, we push the code inside GitHub. Let's see, and if the code is inside GitHub, how do I find it? I go here and then I just click on this, the name I provided. This is my project. When I clicked on it, now it shows me, yes, whatever I had, this is whatever I had in my project. If I go here and then I click on, this is the code I have. See, home target is, and now I had the code here inside. And then if I go, so imagine test, Java, runner, whatever I have here, then everything is in my, whatever I had here in Eclipse, everything now is here. So this is what we, how we push a code using the command. So now I go back and then I had uh, the code here. So okay, let's find my code. Okay, now I have everything here in my banking account. So what we did, we just pushed the, we had from workspace, we send the code to staging area, then we get the local repository, and then we push the code into GitHub. So let's we see what if we whatever if someone just pushed a new code here in GitHub, and then we want, because somebody we pushed the code like an hour ago from our local repository. So like 10 minutes ago, just someone pushed another updated code here, which is in GitHub remote repository. What we don't have the code here in our Git repository. I don't have it. Maybe this guy has, this guy has, this guy has, and this guy's pushed the code here, the new and updated code, that I only don't have it, but everybody else have here. So let's see. And then I need to get the code. So here we need to use another command, pull. So whatever we need to have from GitHub and send it to our Git local repository, we need to use a command which is called pull. So now let's go and do a change. I want to, somebody just come here, imagine this guy, this guy. So I pushed the code like imagine an hour ago, and this guy comes and add another file to GitHub repository. This is my GitHub repository, okay? This is my project. And then the guy just come here and add something. So this is new file, and he calls that new file. This is this file. I said, and the guy just put a message like I added this file, please check it. Please check it, and then create new command file. So now here, if you see, there is a new file added, but I don't have a new file in my project. So I pushed the project in GitHub, and then somebody just came from, imagine this guy just came and updated the project in GitHub. But everybody else had the update, but I still don't have the update because it was just updated in GitHub. How can I just get the update? Here, what I need to do, I need to come here and use a command git push, git pull instead of push. So, and how can I use that command? That's very, very easy. So from using that, and then I would come here and see what that command is. So by pushing, we just push the command, and then we need to use pull command here just to get the file from the repository. Now we come here and say git pull, git pull Okay, I was explaining that somebody just added another file here in the GitHub. So I want to get the updated file in my Git and then from my local repository send it to my workspace. So what I need to do, I'll come here. This time I will say git pull origin master. But this time, I'm not going to use any of these commands because these commands are only just pushing the code from my local workspace to GitHub. So here, we don't have pull command, but as I put it here, now we are using pull command. By using pull command, we can get the file, updated file or whatever from GitHub to our local repository, which is Git, and then to our workspace. So here we say git pull origin master. After I did that, normally from your system, it may ask you for username and password, but here it doesn't because, as I told you, everything is saved on my browser. And now this is what happened to my computer. So now if the file from GitHub is in my local repository, and then from my to my workspace. Now I go to my file here, then I click on my project, then I update it or refresh the project. As you see, as I refresh the project, I have a new file here. So where's the new file? Just someone added to the GitHub repository, and I just got it in my Eclipse. How I got it? Because I use a command called git pull origin master. By using this command, whatever updated file is here, or whatever whoever I just push the file here that I don't have in my Git repository, I get the file to my Git repository, then I get it to my workspace directly. So this is the only command that I need to use. Remember, there is only one command to get the file from GitHub repository to your local repository and then your workspace. Okay, after I got the file here in my Eclipse, so now let's see what I need to do. So I got the file here. I opened the files here. What did the guy write? The guy wrote it that I added this file. Please check it. So, and I say, I would say thank you. I modified. Thank you. It was modified, for example. Okay, and then I would add some other comments. Um, so, please. Uh, Sending right. Okay, now this is a message that I wrote. So it doesn't matter what you do. You write it based condition or your company. Okay, so now what I did, I just the guy sent me updated the file. Then I got the file in my Eclipse. Then I just brought some changes into the file. And here, what I need to do, let's add another file. These are all called modification changes. This is another file. I would call it Rafiq new file. So this is the file. So what happened? I sent the project once before. I sent the project to the GitHub, and then somebody from any of these QA environment pushed an updated file. It means he added something new in the GitHub, which is a remote repository here. But because I sent my file, my whatever I had before, so I don't have the update. I got the update by using what? By using this command, git pull. Then after I got it, I came to my Eclipse. I refreshed my Eclipse. I got the file, which was the file was new file. Okay. Then I put some note. It means I brought some changes to the file. This is called changing. And then I created a new file here. So now what kind of changes I did? I modified the file and then I created a new file. So this is what happened. So we come here. My code is already pushed here, but now I just got the updated. Then after I got the update in my workspace, which is my Eclipse, then I created a new file and then I brought a change or modified the file. I want to send it back. When I want to send it back, so then this is another procedure that we come here now. So commands for pushing the code from the workspace into GitHub after each change. after each change. So now I changed, I brought some changes, yes? So what I need to do now, I don't want to go and start from the scratch. For the second time, you never execute git in it. You never execute git remote and provide the GitHub URL, and you never execute git config global username and password. You only have 4 commands here. Now get status, get a add, and then these two. So that I provided for you guys here. So anytime you bring a change and you want to get the code from here, so you want to get the code from GitHub, and then you bring changes, you create a file, and then you want to send it back because you already pushed it. Now you just brought some changes. Now you only use these commands. So first of all, so I got everything. So I got everything, and then I want to send it back. So I brought these changes. I want to send it back to my GitHub. So now the file is here. Then because I just created something new, and I just created this new and modified this file, added 2 comments that file, whatever it is. So let's just uh, so now this is modification. I save it. So now I want to send it back and go through this procedure. So what I need to do, first of all, I want to see what changes I brought, what is new. So I use a status again, as I before I told you. And then I come here, then I use a status. Whatever file is ready to commit into Git repository. Git repository. Do I have anything new? In my idea, yes, because I just created this and I modified this file that was created inside the remote repository by another QA or developer. So now I come here and I say Git status. So what do I have new? Whenever you want to see, do you have anything new just to send it back again? Yes, I have, because I create a new one and I bring some changes. Here, what I need to do, I did that, and now sorry, here. So yes, you created, will be committed. You created a file called Rafiq here. I created a column. This is a change. This is considered a change. And then you modify a file which is called new file. You modified it. Yes, I modified it. You know what? I came here and I typed 2 things here. I modified it. So 2 things here and one that I added a file called Rafiq. So here I by get a status, then again I check, do I have anything to whatever file is ready? Do I have anything new to push to commit? Yes, yeah. So I did it here. Another file that I need to do, send at a, so all your file into staging area again. So I have something new. I want to add it to staging area. We already studied that. I would say git add -a. What will this do? This will just send my file from my workstation, workspace to the staging area, and then this is another command after to be used into staging area. Okay, and then I say enter. After that, third, as we explained here, from staging area, I want to get it to my Git local repository. Now I use Git commit. So write your comment about the change. So what change you did it. So remember, after we use comment, we have to use commit with the a text or a message. So now here I come here, I would say Git commit -m new file added and uh, some and a file was modified. So I added a new file, okay, here, and then this file was modified. So this is whatever comment you want to write. So git commit m, and then after this is bad. Then you have to. I need to put a space here. Okay, I would say git commit dash dash n. So new file added one modifier. So this is what I did. Then I hit enter. Let's see if it works. I think we missed that. Let's just okay. Let's see if it works. Anyway, I think it works. Anyway, now what happens? So I just commit and then I put my commenter, and after that I will go here and I push my code to my local repository. So now I commit it into my Git local repository, then I will be pushing it into GitHub or remote repository. Yeah, so this is the issue. Let's git commit. Just add a commit another one more time because I need to delete it. So git commit one. Okay, this is a still commit because this commit didn't work. Okay, so this is my commit, and I'm going to send it to my Git account to get local repository. Once I did this, then it was added. See, it was added, whatever I did here. So now here it's in my Git account, Git repository, which is local. Now I want to push it. So how do I push it? So I create it here. So it was committed. Then I put my comment here. Then I'll be pushing it. Easy. So what should I do? Git push version master. Just to show you. And this is git push u version master. I forgot the u. Okay, so remember, after for the second time, we only use 4 commands. Only use 4 commands. Okay, get you origin master, and then once I hit enter, it says from your PCs, and every time you use push command, remember it will ask passcode and password and username for your GitHub account. But mine, as I told you, everything is saved. It doesn't ask. Now I pushed, so I send my new file back again to Git repository by using these commands. First, I checked if I have anything new in my workspace. Yes, it showed me in red that you have 5 times or 3 files new. Then I use add command, then I use commit, then I use push. So like this. So if I then I first I check whatever I have new. I had 3 files because I created one, I modified one, and then I use add command to send it to stage area. Then I use commit command to send it to my GitHub repository, which is local, and then I use push command to send it to GitHub. Now let's go to the GitHub. Here, let's see if I have anything new here. So now I should have a file called Rafiq, and inside this file, I should have inside this file, I should have these text. Now come and refresh it. Here I have a called Rafiq new file, which I just added here. And then I also have a new file here So thank you. It was modified. Will be sending right away that I wrote it here. So this is how we use Git and GitHub by using uh, by pushing our code into GitHub. So I hope that it was helpful for you guys. And also the last one I want to show you, working directory is your Eclipse or IntelliJ you are working. So these are untracked files that you still have them here. We have not sent them to staging area. Once you send the file to the staging area by using add command, so we already have it here. By using add command, you send them to the staging area. Then those files will be called tracked files because they are in the staging area now. And after they are there, then you see them as read. Okay. And then here, then you use commit command to send them to your Git repository. So we send them to Git repository by command Git, by command commit. And after you send them there, from Git repository, local repository, you use the command push and send it or push it to the remote repository, which is called GitHub. And for the and remember, whenever we push a file and then to the GitHub, and whenever there is a change, someone updated the file in GitHub, we want to just get the update. We use the command pull, and after we got it here, when you use the command pull, you just refresh your project, and then you will have the change in your file, which I like file new file here. And after you just did the modify the change or add something, and then you want to send it back your change or your update to the GitHub, then you don't need to come here again. So you just need to start. You have only 4 commands. Check the status, what new things you have to send, add, or a commit, push. So and use these only once. When you have a new project to be pushed, we only use these two once and these two before first commit. But for the second commit that we use, if you just remember it, we didn't use these two because these all used only with first commit. And I hope it was useful for you guys, and I'll be sending this to your through the WhatsApp chat to you guys, and I hope you can get something out of this. And wish you a great day. Take care.